This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Well, the Valley Boys encountering a slight hindrance today after one of its Junkanoo shacks burns to the ground.
The group still expects to put on a strong showing at the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
You don't just lay down and die.
They may have encountered a stumbling block, but the Valley Boys insist they are not out of the game after an early morning blaze destroyed one of its Junkanoo shacks hours before the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. Fire broke out sometime after 2 Wednesday morning at the shack off Carmichael Road.
We had a few costumes in the shack, a few off-the-shoulder costumes, and some choreographed costumes, I think, also was inside of the shack. Everything burned up, you know, and it's just one day before the parade.
Fire also destroyed Junkanoo materials. Among the debris, a charred cowbell and burnt paint cans. Costume designer Kenny Knowles says the group is forging ahead and does not expect to be heavily impacted.
We bring everything that we have and we leave it on the road, you know, despite previous parades or whatever. Just put it behind us and move on and give the best showing that we could give.
The shack sits on group member Alex Hanna's property. It also stored some of his catering equipment. He estimates the loss to be at least $50,000, but says they can be replaced. Hanna says 2 men were in the shack when the fire started, but Hanna says they do not know how the fire started.
There was 2 guys that was pasting all week long in the shack. There's more than that, but every night, late at night, there's 1, 2, or 3 of them will stay back, and now it's crunch time, so they were in there all night. They says, you know, they just saw smoke, and after they saw the smoke, they ran out.
Although her costume went up in flames, free dancer Allison Russell says she will find a replacement.
It's gone today, but that won't stop me from coming to Bay Street. I'll be there in full effect, and I guess that's just the way it is for now.
Despite this setback, Russell says she has high hopes for the parade.
We should have a good showdown tonight. I'm looking for a win, actually. But like I say, we'll see what happens when we get on Bay Street.
Hanna, too, is hopeful the group will emerge as victors. After this loss, he says the Valley Boys will rebuild a bigger and better shack. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, Junkanoo officials sticking with their decision to have a shorter and tighter New Year's Day parade this year, despite protests from some major groups. Fern Carey has this.
Chairman of the parade management team, Douglas Hanner, says the decision to have a shorter New Year's Day parade was only made after meeting with police and Junkanoo stakeholders, and it is not in an effort to shortchange Junkanoo groups or the spectators. He also stressed that the decision will only affect this year's New Year's Day parade.
The decision has only been made and is only be made on this parade, one parade, 2015 New Year's Day parade. That's it. And I believe in the wisdom of the persons who has been framing the rules for a long time, put a provision in the rules for these side of circumstances, that if circumstances arise, then a decision could be made. We see that the circumstances has now arose, where we have to make decision on one parade. Next year or another year, if the parades are still 3 laps, some other circumstances may arise.
Meantime, persons attending the parade can expect it to be rain-free. That's according to meteorologist Godfrey Burnside.
It seems as though we'll have few party clouds around, a lovely night in store weather-wise. We still have that frontal boundary that's stalled over Grand Bahama and Abaco. Should not move towards the New Province area. Should become diffused in the next 24 hours in the vicinity of Grand Bahama, so we expect just a few patchy clouds around. Temperature probably drop to about 68. The winds are going to be light and variable, but I won't rule out a 10% chance of a brief spotty shower. Okay, I won't rule it out, but I see basically another rain-free Junkanoo parade.
The Prodigal Sons will start off the parade at 2 a.m., followed by Redland Soldiers, Music Makers, and then the Saxons. Meantime, JCNP Chairman Silbert Ferguson noted that 50% of Junkanoo tickets have been sold, and tickets will be on sale until 3 a.m. Thursday at Norfolk House downtown. He noted that persons purchasing tickets after 12 midnight will not have to pay VAT.
I think our groups want the fans to enjoy the parade, and they don't want the fans to be tackled with that extra cost at this time. And so we all agreed that we will take full responsibility for the VAT
cost that will come to us. Everything is going to be on time tomorrow. We're going to get started at 2 a.m. We're going to have 2 solid laps for each group. We anticipate that our parades will probably conclude on Bay Street right around 9, 10 o'clock, and then the parade will probably end at the end of Shirley Street right around midday. Okay, and so we're anticipating that the results will be ready at our Waki at 6 p.m.
For Gary, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Cia Scatterly. Chairman of the Prices Commission, E.J. Bowe, cautioned merchants that the implementation of value-added tax begins on Thursday, January 1st, 2015, and did not begin on January 1st, 2014. He noted how there are a number of items that are price controlled but do not fall under breadbasket items, such as gasoline, diesel, cooking gas, cars, car parts, and certain medicines. Consumers are advised to be aware of what falls under price control so that when they do purchase them and they suspect the price may be too high, they can contact the Consumer Protection Unit. Turning his attention to VAT, Bowe said it is now the law that VAT is 7.5% and no more. Bowe mentioned the reduction in the price of oil, yet in the Bahamas there has been no reduction in the cost of cooking gas. This, he continued, will be looked into. In other business news, Assistant Controller of Customs Sherrick Martin announced a number of new initiatives the Department of Customs has undertaken, including the introduction of value-added tax, electronic data interchange, and Excise Stamp Control Act with respect to tobacco products are among the changes the department has been preparing for. In preparation for the introduction of VAT, Martin said they have met with the VAT Department, customs brokers, shipping agents, and couriers. Martin also announced the reduction in duty on some products, stoves reduced to 5%, handbags duty-free, jewelry duty-free, aluminum doors 5%, energy-efficient refrigerators 5%, cameras free, and watches are now free. And in international news, Russia's annual inflation for 2014 will hit about 11.4%, driven higher by the plunging value of the ruble. The currency's falling value has pushed up prices, particularly that of food, which rose above 15.4% during the year. Consumer prices rose 2.6% in December, a month when the ruble suffered some of its steepest falls. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Cia Scatterly.